but we're actually voting on them. Should it say, do we vote on things that
No.
we just receive?
No.
Because
Right, so what I've put in here, in A, Ian, I deliberately asked us to consider the update.
yeah,
In the report, which I appreciate you haven't got in front
Right.
of you, I've written in that report a recommendation. I've actually used the words "and I recommend." And I'm just telling you exactly what was in those written words. So you're absolutely right. If we were just receiving, no. But because I've written in there a recommendation, I believe that you're receiving it with a recommendation. Is my answer, Neil?
Yeah, I concur, there's a recommendation.
yeah, that's fine.
All right, Nick. Sorry, Ian. Okay, so I've proposed. Do we find a second? Cornelius wants to second that. Those in favour? That is unanimous. Okay, thank you. And we come to 8C, which I'm sorry to me again, but
We haven't got
Yeah,
that.
you have, because we're allowed to add any things that, do you remember, reports? We normally prepare them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go, I did say at the beginning, I would go around the room once I've had my go. So, on Monday, Miranda, Dave, Ron and myself, carry on, right, went to meet with Corby Borough Council. You may remember we flagged it up at the previous meeting. Unfortunately Bill and Chris weren't able to go and Mark Shaw wasn't able to go, but the four of us went. So I have prepared a written report, but I typed it this morning, right, and sent it to Neil, so it obviously isn't here before you at this stage. I think, Neil, you emailed it this afternoon. Yeah, okay. I will ask my colleagues to come in to make sure I've got this right, but for me, I was very interested to hear Corby's current population, 65,000 people, which I frankly appreciate. Put into your mind, Rutland's current population, 38,000, something like that. Okay, so Corby as it stands is 1.5 times the size of Rutland. By the year 2030, Corby are choosing, not being told to, but are choosing as a deliberate economic policy to increase their population to 100,000, which will require 13 to 14,000 new homes to be built. Okay? Now I think it's hugely important, whatever we think about it, it's clearly going to have an impact on our town just 6 miles away. It could be positives and negatives, all right? So we could see a lot more amenities 6 miles away from us to the south. We could also see a lot more potential income. You know, there's going to be an additional 35,000 people who we could try and attract a percentage of those to come and spend money in our town. There's going to be jobs to go with these extra people. There's going to be new schools in Corby, and these people may choose not to live in Corby. They may choose to come and live 6 miles away in Uppingham, particularly if we're building in that period something in the order of 400 houses. So I thought all of that was really interesting. We've written a report. I think it needs a lot more. So I would say on this one, we will just receive this, Ian, but I thought you'd like to know what was in the report, and I think personally we need to table it for discussion at a future meeting to think about what the implications are. Okay, can I ask the colleagues who went with me, what have I missed?
We did talk a little bit about collaboration over events in both communities to make sure that we could advertise either way on those things as well. But I can emphasise the enormous expansion plans of Corby and the enthusiasm which that they are taking it forward, and there's very little in the way of the drawbacks of expansion and everything in terms of the growth.
Steve?
Are they intended to build their way through this problem, or are they going to acquire villages and so on around the surrounding area?
We can answer that. We were taken on a minibus tour of the building locations and sites, and many of them are underway already. So, yeah.
But if you ever go to Corby or the back way, Weldon's a good example of what's going on.
Yes.
It's absolutely crap. I mean, trebled its population in 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, Ron?
Just an observation, Chair, that, you know, typically when a small parish writes to a large organisation, A, you're looking at a hearing, and B, it might be minimal time. And what I was impressed with is A, the time and resources, chief executive leader, deputy leader. There's obviously a warm relationship intended with us, and I thought that was most encouraging with the issue.
I
Absolutely.
think that's spot on.
Okay, so could I ask you if someone is happy to propose we receive this report, this verbal report from you? Yes, Christine does. Thank you, Miranda. Those in favour? That's unanimous. Now, before I move on, that's me done on the report. Has anyone got any other reports they would like to bring to our attention? You've had town partnership minutes.
They've been circulated.
No one else? Right, let's crack on then. Thank you. Shows how busy we all are, doesn't it? There's lots going on with the council. Number 9, another receive, please. To receive the report from Foxwise Accountancy, who are our internal auditors, for the period to 31st of December 2015.
Yeah, well, it's the shortest one I've ever seen, isn't it, you? Well, yeah, yeah.
I've seen many times.
No, very short.
The second one.
Unusually for an accountant's report. Complementary, in other words, item 8, generally we found the records to be in excellent order. You know, obviously, you know, with the actions that we've taken, you know, like Neil already has taken on the asset register observation, and the usual comments about RCC, whether they've actually paid the wages, which is a good question. But on the whole, a very satisfactory report. Unfortunately, the last from them. Yeah.
So, do you feel able to propose we receive?
Oh yes,
this?
I propose that we receive this
Thank you.
report.
Anyone? Christine, you second that? Those in favour? That is unanimous, thank you very much. So item 10, to receive a report on income and expenditure against budget year to date. Neil, were you going to speak to this?
Yeah, I've issued a copy up to date on the tables tonight, which I'm mindful that these reports we got off the system are quite a few pages long. There's a one-pager, one sheet dated the 5th of April, top left-hand corner, 11:19 I think it says in the time. That's the one to look at. So this is just I normally give you a breakdown for each of the individual committees and cost centres. This is just an overall summary. I have actually sent out in the packs the detailed breakdown, but that was literally the day before the end of the month. So I was giving you a view as we sort of virtually got to it. As I said earlier, I've got some accruals to sort of put through, which will change these figures slightly, but I'm just making sure that we've got things like the skate park actually set against last year, and a number of other things. We've got a month's payroll to be included and various other bits and bobs. So there's half a dozen or 7 items that we'll need to attribute to the we're in the new financial year now to the previous financial year, which will be done. But I'm going to send those round to Sam and Lindsay just for a sense check before I sort of finally start the work on closing down the accounts and pushing stuff through.
Okay. The one thing I pointed out there, Neil, actually, is to do with the mayor's ball. That shouldn't be in it. It should be there as a reconciling item, but it shouldn't be in our expenditure or all receipts. Come to that. You know, we're managing on behalf of the mayor, effectively. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll need to find out how we sort of treat, because I rang specifically the finance company to ask about that specific item, and they set me up with that.
Yeah. But no, it certainly isn't part of the council's expenditure. I think that's the definition.
I'm astonished if bear in mind it's a civic role, it's an official role. I'm astonished if that's the case. It's news to me that civic function would not appear in the authority's accounts, and that's true. Rutland County Council.
It's not going out of our budget. It's money that's been raised for expenditure or donation at a future date
So can
by
I
the
say,
mayor.
I mean, do I have to declare an interest? I don't know how to do this. I think it's I simply don't know the answer, and I guess Neil has taken some advice, he doesn't know the answer. can we say that Neil should seek advice on this?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, and on the same principle, the council's public liability insurance should apply for the evening, so ask the same question, because it is a civic function.
All right,
So
so,
there was an
No,
incident.
no, this is I don't know whether you understand it properly, Ron, but as I understand it, this is just a small amount of money that's been accrued for the mayor's ball on behalf of David, of the chairman, or the mayor, yeah. It hasn't got anything to do with the business of the town council.
But the business of the mayor does, so it depends. So, you know, let's Neil find out.
Let
Let's
Neil find out. I think
That'd be
the
really
answer is-
interesting if it's
Yeah,
not the
ask
case.
Neil to find out, yeah? Is that?
Yeah,
happy?
yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
I think we need Neil to find out the answer.
But I think it's fine, it
Right,
should be.
Steve?
Wouldn't be
I
anywhere
quite like
near
the
it.
summary
Books.
report that came out today. I wonder if we're going to keep this in the pack.
Yeah, I'm working my way through all the reports that they do, and this one is the latest version. There is more. It very much depends on what you want to read and what you want to sort of look at. So that just gives you the headings, but it is it's one of the reports that they said that is used quite a lot by townships.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one because I can then delve into detail if I want to.
Okay, so I'd like to say Ian's point as well, to keep me on the straight and narrow, so we are meant to be receiving this. So I've been quite lax in allowing some debate on it. So does anyone feel that they'd like to propose we receive this?
Oh, yeah, well, so.
Cornelius, I think it's first. Sam, would you like to
I'll
second
second
it
it.
then? Right, so those in favour of receiving this report? Oh, that's not unanimous. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in favour. Those against and those abstaining. 1. Okay, so we come to item 11. So, to receive the following reports from committees, so 11A, planning.
Propose that this committee receive.
I'll second
Thank you, Christine. Those in favour? That one is unanimous. B, 11B, finance. Sam, did you want to draw our attention?
Well, yes,
To
yeah, yeah. I don't know, Neil,
Sorry to be a pain, Sam,
was-
we are standing tonight.
yeah. Was the statement on earmarked reserves posted to everybody, Neil, or was it just to me?
No, that's on the table for everybody to have a look at.
Right, okay. But anyway, that the major item of the FGP committee meeting was to discuss earmarked reserves. Previously, it has been simply to the discretion of the town clerk as to what we put in and what we don't put in. What we've tried to do now is a more professional approach to what we've got there, and that professional approach should normally be abide by 2 rules. One, if there are any commitments we have not yet discharged this year but which we are committed to, we should be providing for, and if there's anything that's likely to happen next year as a consequence of something that's cropped up this year, we should also be providing for it. But we can't go to wish lists for next year or things like that. And that was the basic principle. And we had quite a bit of a discussion about that, surprisingly. We did actually start to ask if Neil could find out for us if there are any details or any rules from the RALF about this, because we don't actually really hold any detailed balance sheet. You know, we would normally have creditor provisions and things for some of these items anyway. So I think that the message is really that we'd like to hold them as a sort of an item, not just sort of at the discretion of the town clerk, but we would like it to be considered and approved by full council. And with the result, the list is published there. It's I don't know whether anyone wants to go to detail on it or whatever.
Just so that you are aware in terms of how this was prepared, it did cause a bit this new professional approach, cause a bit stir a hornet's nest up.
Did do.
Made me wonder if I just should have presented with a fait accompli. On the left-hand side, that's what Susan previously put in for the year just gone. So I've kept the same items in the middle, and I added in, if yours are in blue, I'm getting to grips with the new printer. If they're in blue, these were things that I put down as possible items for discussion and debate, and we have a neutral amount at the side. So on the right-hand side is what we're proposing in terms of earmark reserves this year. You'll see that for some of the things like pensions, for example, we've now sort of got the top side of that, so we're not actually making any earmark reserves for pensions for the coming year. So we've then got on the right-hand side the proposed new amounts after the discussion that we've had.
So,
One final thing, sorry, Dave. You're absolutely right, Sam. I went back and I spoke to the Ralph about reserves and whether there is a reserves policy. My initial response was met with the age-old question that's asked is about the ratio of reserves. So
yes,
they thought that we meant, and they then said, but you've asked this question before. I said, well, I know, and you've given us the answer. But effectively, I'm not sort of saying that. Is there a policy around earmark reserves and how you approach it? They couldn't produce a definitive document. We did a bit of digging around and we found a policy document with another council in the West Midlands that we think is a good start. We've actually forwarded that to Laurel and said, well, you have a look at that, we'll have a look at it, we'll take it back into Finance and General Purposes just to kick it around and see what people's views are and see if it helps give a bit of clarity to how we approach this time next year.
okay, so sorry Sam, I was just going to say, so is everyone happy that Finance seem to be all over this and know what they're doing? It's an ongoing thing about sorting out a policy going forward, but obviously at the year end now we do need to sign off this year's, which is why you're asked to receive the report here as it is, but safe in the knowledge that our friends on Finance and the bar are working hard to get policy in place for next year.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Sam?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So on that basis, do you wish to propose that we receive this?
Yeah, could I propose that we receive the item on earmark reserves? Do I have a seconder?
So, sorry, are you receiving all of this to include the item on here?
Oh, I'd like to receive all of it. Yeah, yeah.
To include the item, specifically to include the
Yeah,
item.
specifically to include. Yeah.
And who wanted to second that? Lindsay. All right, those in favour? Count again. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in favour. Those against and those abstaining. One abstention. Okay, thank you very much.
11 and 1 abstention.
12, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 in favour. One abstention. All right, mate?
Yeah.
Good, well done. Miranda, 11C.
Yeah, I propose the minutes be received for the administrative meeting.
Second that.
Thank you, Dick. Those in favour? Yeah, that's a unanimous. Well done, everyone. 12. We need to consider the steps so as to secure a replacement internal auditor, as Coxwise the gentleman involved is retiring, I believe, Sam, isn't he? So
He's retiring, although I think it's his daughter-in-law who's taking over. They don't really want to be involved in this sort of business, and I can understand that when it's a bit of a specialised market.
So can I say the item is to consider the steps needed to secure. I would, Sam, if it's all right with you, I'd like to make a proposal that I know the clerk has sent out letters to 6 potential people to take this over. All Laurel approved. 2 have come back. All right. So I mean, he sent out 6, but 2 have come back. There is going to need to be an analysis done of those 2 to choose the best one. I would like to propose that we delegate the choosing of that to the Finance and General Purposes Committee and let them choose.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll second that. Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Sam's going to second that. So, in the absence of any speech, we'll take a vote. Those in favour? And that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, so we come to item 13, which is to consider recent correspondence from business reps and a local resident around the annual Lent Fair, which runs at the end of February and early March. So, Ron, I know you may wish to speak to this.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it. What's the resident one?
All right, this was a piece of correspondence that was sent to me, which I passed on to the clerk. And
Convenient part.
It's in the pack.
Send it back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
All right.
Talking about the same.
Right. Did you want to should we ask Ron to go first, or do you want to go first?
Do you want,
Are you ready to
briefly say
speak?
what I think the problem is?
Yeah.
Okay, Chair, I think from the point of view of events, and in particular fair, things have always gone fairly smoothly in the town. But